Good evening. Thank you for joining us on the War Diary. On the 376th day of the war, here are the main highlights of the day at 7:30 p.m. Beirut time. We begin with the situation in Lebanon. The Israeli raid on Har Tahrik in the southern suburbs of Beirut this morning dropped all talk of American guarantees not to bomb Beirut. The Israeli army violated the fifth day of the cautious calm in the suburb by targeting a building in Har Tahrik in the morning. Moving on to the south of Lebanon, the Lebanese Red Cross said 2 paramedics were wounded in a strike that hit a village while on a rescue mission coordinated with UN peacekeepers. Israeli warplanes launched a series of raids targeting multiple villages and towns such as Iklim al-Tafah, Ait al-Shab and Kfar Joz. The Israeli army bombed Nabatieh, killing 14 people, including the head of the municipality, Dr. Ahmed Kahil, when warplanes carried out a series of raids, one of which destroyed the Nabatieh municipality building. Dr. Kahil and a number of members, employees, and citizens were following up the distribution of donations as usual daily to distribute them to the displaced people in the city when they were killed. The raids on Nabatieh also led to the killing of 3 civil defense members. The airstrikes also targeted the Nabatieh governmental prison, destroying most of the eastern offices. Caretaker Prime Minister Najib Mikati announced a deliberate Israeli strike on the Nabatieh Municipal Council. 15 killed and 30 wounded were recorded in an updated toll of the Israeli raids on the town of Qana. Fierce clashes took place between Hezbollah fighters and Israeli forces in Markaba, Rab 30, Ramya, Ait al-Shab and Al-Quzah, while Shib'a came under heavy artillery shelling. A number of soldiers were injured while their military vehicle was passing on the Ria'ib Albek highway, which was targeted by an airstrike. The Public Health Ministry's Emergency Operations Center announced that the Israeli raid on the Baalbek Ria'ib highway killed 2 people and injured 9 others. The raid reportedly resulted in 3 killed and 4 wounded members of the Lebanese army who happened to be passing in the vicinity. In response to these attacks, Hezbollah announced retaliatory actions, including a series of statements that it targeted Safad, the Yiftah settlement, and the Israeli army artillery emplacement in Dalton and Dishan with rocket fire. Hezbollah also targeted a gathering of Israeli soldiers on Tal el-Qaba and Markaba with artillery shells, and the settlement of Carmiel with a large rocket bullet, and targeted a Merkava tank in the vicinity of the town of Ramya with a guided missile, killing and wounding its crew. Hezbollah also targeted a gathering of Israeli soldiers in Miskavam with artillery shells. Al-Hadath reported that the Israeli army captured 3 Hezbollah members in addition to the 4 announced yesterday. The Israeli Broadcasting Corporation announced that 2 Israelis were wounded after 5 rockets from Lebanon hit the yard of a house in Safad in northern Israel. The Israeli military announced that 50 projectiles were fired from Lebanon towards northern Israel at dawn on Wednesday. The Lebanese Ministry of Public Health reported that 2,367 people had been killed and 11,088 wounded since the start of the war on Lebanon. On the diplomatic front, Janine Hannes-Plasshart, the United Nations Special Coordinator for Lebanon, has condemned the latest Israeli airstrikes on the southern Lebanese city of Nabatieh. A Christian Islamic spiritual summit convened on Wednesday at the seat of the Maronite Church in Kirke at the invitation of Patriarch Bashar al-Rai to reaffirm national unity and call for an immediate cessation of hostilities between Israel and Hezbollah. A new complaint has been submitted by the Lebanese Ministry of Foreign Affairs to the Security Council concerning Israeli attacks against Lebanon during the period from October 3 to October 14 of 2024. Lebanon called on the Security Council to condemn Israel's widespread and continuing aggression against Lebanon and its people, as well as the ground invasion of its territory. It also reiterated its call on the Council to compel Israel to fully implement Resolution 1701 by ceasing hostilities and withdrawing immediately from Lebanese territory. Currently in Gaza, Palestinians at Al-Aqsa Martyrs Hospital in central Gaza's Deir al-Balah mourn loved ones as others transport injured to the hospital after 2 were killed in an Israeli strike on a car in Al-Zawaidah. Iran's President Masoud Pezeshkian called for more pressure on Israel's backers to end the bloodshed in the Gaza Strip and Lebanon. The president demanded more pressure on the supporters of Israel to stop the killings in Gaza and Lebanon. Pezeshkian said during a phone call with Oman's Sultan Haytham bin Tariq, according to a presidential statement. UNRWA chief Philippe Lazzarini told a press conference in Berlin that, and I quote, "There is a real risk today that we enter a situation where famine or acute malnutrition is unfortunately again a likelihood," end of quote, pointing to the upcoming winter and the weakened immune systems of Gaza's population. The Ministry of Health in Gaza has recorded 42,409 Palestinians killed and 99,153 wounded. In a broader scope, Iran's top diplomat Abbas Arakchi has warned UN Chief Antonio Guterres that Tehran is ready for a decisive and regretful response if Israel attacks his country in retaliation for a missile attack. British Prime Minister Keir Starmer said on Wednesday the government was weighing up sanctions against far-right Israeli minister Ben Gvir and Smotrich. French President Emmanuel Macron has further strained relations with Israel with a comment referring to the creation of the Israeli state, a verbal jab that was rapidly denounced by Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu as distorting history. And that's it for today's recap. See you tomorrow for another roundup of the situation. Until then, stay connected on our website www.thisisbeirut.com.lb and on all our social media platforms.